Hello everyone, Emily here. And I don't know about you, but I would love my balance to be rock solid. And that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be about loving our feet and building the stabilizer muscles that help us stay upright. So if you haven't already, let's come to a seated position, and you can be on a chair or a stool or a couch or whatever you've got. We're going to cross one leg over the other, and we're just going to start giving our feet the attention they deserve. So we're going to just give a little massage, a little squeeze of the toes. Our feet carry us around all day long, and they're also a big part of how we balance, and they need to be a little loved on, a little cared for. Good. So we're going to start by manipulating the toe joints. So we're going to take the big toe and we're going to bend it forward and back, just flexing it in both directions. You can use one hand or two. And then next, we're going to make circles clockwise and counterclockwise around with the toe. So we circle around. I can use my other hand to stabilize the foot, and we change directions. Good. And now we're going to rotate the toe on its axis. So this way, we go clockwise and counterclockwise, back and forth. We're not pushing or pulling too much, just a nice easy motion, lubricating that joint. And we move on to the second toe, forward and back, flexing. Again, you can find what works best for you, one hand or two. And now we make circles. If you need to get your big toe out of the way, go for it. We make circles around, and then we go the other direction. Good. And now we rotate the toe on its axis. Again. And we move to the third toe, flexing back and forth. I know it may not seem like we're doing a lot here, but trust me, we're going to feel it in the end. And now let's make circles. Back the other way. And fourth toe. If I have more time in my day, sometimes I do 10 rotations, 10 flexions on each toe. Here we go, circles. But for now, we're doing somewhere between 3 and 5 in each direction. Back the other way. Good. And we rotate that toe around its own axis. And we move on, pinky toe, forward and back. Finding its range of motion, noticing if there's any clicking or popping, and just lubricating through that joint. Circles, and back the other way. Good. Give little toes a squeeze. Nice. Now we're going to pull the toes apart. So we big toe and pinky toe pull apart, and then second toe and fourth toe. And then we're going to take that middle toe in both directions. Pull and pull. Again, spread, spread, and pull and pull. Good. Let's just give the toes a flex back and forth. Little shake out. And now we're going to interweave the fingers between the toes. Use your opposite hand to help. If this feels like too much to you, you can go back to the spreading exercise that we just did. Good. Also, there's something online you can buy called yoga toes, and they're spreaders that will spread your toes open like this and just hold while you're working at your desk or something. So now that we have our hands interweave between the fingers, we just grab onto the foot and we rotate the toes around. And one more around. And we switch directions. Good. Maybe flex a little forward, a little back. Nice. And gently release those fingers. Whew, find some more space in there. Now we're going to give a little massage. We're going to find the groove in between the tendons of the toes. So it's like the little valley in between the tendons. We're going to squeeze in there. So I get my thumb on the back side of the foot, squeezing on the underside, and the fingers on the front side. And we find that groove. And then we're just going to squeeze down the foot And we're gonna go all the way into the ball of the foot, into that joint, and you're gonna feel there's some room between the bones in there. Good, we go again, between the big toe and the second toe. Squeeze down. If you find any hot spots, you could just give it a little extra attention there. Good. And between the second toe and the third toe, we find the groove and we squeeze down. And again, I like to just kind of develop my own little rhythm here. Good. Next tendon, between the third toe and the fourth toe. They start to get smaller, so if you need to look, you can just look and find your way there. We squeeze down. Anytime you want to take a little extra time in one spot, go for it. Good. Now, depending on the size of your foot and your hand, you might be more comfortable to come underneath for the last one, between the fourth toe and the pinky toe, or you can reach over the top. It's pretty small, so get in there, find it, and squeeze. This one's always a doozy for me. I'm like, this one, I feel it. Good. We're just opening up the space in between those tendons and bones. There's so many bones in the feet, and we're just creating more space in between them. Nice. Whew. And spread those toes and shake it out. Nice. We're gonna take a little ankle and just give it a little roll. Both directions. Finding freedom of movement. And let's shake it out. Nice. So we just notice the difference between our 2 feet now. Feel the spaciousness in the foot that you just opened. And we go to the other side. So here we go. We give the foot a little attention, a little squeeze, get that blood flowing in there. Good. Maybe a little pull on the toes. And we start with our flexions. We're gonna push up and back, nice and gentle. You know, if you hit pain, we don't wanna be there. It's just a nice motion of mobility. If you have a joint that's sore, you might wanna back off or just let that one go. And we make circles, clockwise and then counterclockwise. And now we rotate the toe on its axis. And again, it's a gentle movement. And we move on to the second toe. As you become familiar with the patterning, I find this to be somewhat meditative, as well as I just kind of find my rhythm in my body and breathe into the motion. Good. And rotations. Opposite direction. And twists. Around the toes axis. Opening up the possibilities. Our toes do so much to move us around and keep us upright. Fourth toe. And circles. Change direction. Good, and twist. Good. And last pinky toe. Forward and back. And circles. And switch directions. And twists. Good. Good. And squeeze it out. Here we go. So now we're going to spread those toes apart. Big toe and pinky toe. Nice, good stretch here. And second toe, fourth toe. And that middle toe in both directions. Again, spread, spread, and middle toe both directions. Starting to feel good. And we weave our hand in between our toes. Again, if you don't have the space for this, just go back to the prior exercise and you work up to this. The more those toes can spread, the more we have a base to balance on, and the less our feet hurt when we're on the dance floor for a long time. So here we go, we circle in. And switching directions. Just noticing what this foot feels like. Is it different than the other one? A little forward and back. Stretch. Good. And release. So here we go in between the tendons again. Find that groove and we squeeze. Feeling the arch of the foot as well as the top of the foot. Nice. All the way down to the end, get in those bones. And again, a second time. And if you find a hot spot, just give it some gentle love and attention, knowing that it's been ignored for some time maybe. We go in between the second and the third toe, squeezing down, getting into that arch, finding your own rhythm. Good. Good. In between third toe and fourth toe, if you need to take a look or run your finger up, find that tendon, find that groove. And really, in the ball of the foot, really take the moment there to be within the bones. Again. And now, last one, in between the pinky and the fourth toe. This one's always, whew, there's always some spots in these ones. Good, one more time. Good, and squeeze some love in there. Good, let's go ahead and rotate through the ankle. And just notice if the ankle doesn't want to go to all the directions of the circle. Take it nice and slow. Change directions. Good. And shake it out. Awesome. So now we're going to do a little toe exercising. So feet are going to be flat on the floor, and we're going to spread those toes wide. As I said, this really helps create a much more balanced position, as well as spreads out the muscles in the bottoms of the foot, so we're not putting pressure onto one joint in the toe, which is what causes pain in our feet. So toes are spread wide. We're going to send the pinky toes down and the big toe up. And there we go. And I really find it helps to do the motion with your hand, because our feet aren't always so educated as our hands are. So big toes are up, little toes are down, and then we switch. So big toe down, toes up, lift big toe, other toes down. If you need to look, go for it. We switch and switch, switch and switch. Good, shake it out. So now we're gonna work, this is a doozy. There's an arch across the front of the foot here, and we're gonna work to lift that arch up. So from here, we're gonna put the big toe to the ground, and then we're gonna work to put the pinky toes to the ground. And if you need to use your hands to help, do that. And then we work to keep that arch lifting up, and then relax it out, shake it out. If you start getting a cramp, you can just kind of stretch into the back of the foot. This is a nice thing to do anyway. And now here we go again. Pinky toes and big toes are going towards the ground. So big toe down, pinky toe down, and the rest of the foot is lifting up. This is strengthening through the arch of the foot. And again, if you need to use your hands to help to educate your toes, you can start to do this. And then we release down. This is kind of a brain twister, so take your time with it and be kind to yourself. We can work all kinds of dexterity with the toes, and the more we do that, the more we're building strength and agility within the toes. So one more time, big toe down, pinky toes down, and lift. Nice. Woo! That's a workout. Good, shake it out. If it feels good to you, you can just flex the toe back and forward, or do whatever you need to do just to take care of your feet. Nice. So now we're going to work on heel raises. And in a moment, we'll do it standing. But from here, we're gonna think spread those toes open. We have no worry about balance. We're only gonna be concentrating on the alignment of the knee, ankle, and foot. So as I raise my heel off the ground, we want to find this straight line coming right down towards the big toe and the second and third toe. So this straight line here, and we come back down. We roll up, check that the ankle is in alignment, it's moving towards the center line, and we roll back down. Roll up and roll back down. Which way, when we sprain our ankles, does the ankle go? It goes out that way, right? The pinky toe isn't made there to support so much weight. So as we move through these ankle rolls, we're thinking inside. And as we take steps, side steps on the dance floor or just walking in general, if we lose our balance, it's usually because we've rolled to the outside of the foot. So now we're just having a moment of concentration and awareness of this structural alignment right there. Good. Awesome, y'all. Let's shake it out. We are going to come to standing. So go ahead and stand on up, and I'll meet you in the center of the floor. All right, let's come into a comfortable standing position. Let's spread those toes wide and feel the space that you might have in your feet right now. My feet feel good, and I'm hoping yours do too. The more we can spread those toes, again, the sturdier our base is going to be, the better our balance. So we're gonna work right now on relaxing now the hip, ankle, and knee joints. You can have your legs together or apart, depending on what kind of dancing you do. Both are great. We're gonna think relax to that hip flexor and send the tailbone slightly back, knees and ankles bend. It's like we're folding a fan. Fold the fan and back open. It's a very small motion, and we're gonna work to keep the head as level as possible. So at the same time I'm folding my fan in my lower body, I'm switching up in my upper body. We lengthen, creating space between the thigh bone and the pelvis, creating relaxation in the ankle and knee joints. And we're thinking about all of this bending tracking in one line versus going off on the sides. It tracks right here. At the same time, spine is growing up. And we're feeling our base rooting into the ground. Good. And now let's find a standing leg. So again, we find that base, we stretch down and up, we release the free leg, and we're gonna play with that folding and unfolding of the fan while we roll our heel up off the ground. So here it goes. We're gonna release the hip joint, roll up knee and ankle, and then we're gonna go all the way to the big toe. And then we spread the toes out and roll down. Nice and controlled. Again, we stretch up and down, release the free leg, fold the fan, and roll all the way up to the big toe. Now you'll notice if you're out of balance and you lean on that big toe, it hurts a little bit. So if you need to, go ahead and grab a chair or a counter or something to just lightly hold on to. One more time on this leg. We find our standing leg, stretch down and up, and we relax the hip flexor, roll up, and I really want you to work those toes. Spread them open, and we roll, and then we come down. Good, shake it out. We go to the other side. So from here, remember, we're thinking about that line, that shin bone going down to the first toe and the big toe. We want that alignment. That alignment creates stability and prevents us from spraining our ankles. So again, we root down and up. Release the hip flexor and roll. Spread toes and roll down. Nice and controlled, conscious movement. We're working those toes. We're finding our alignment. Stretch down and up, release. Checking in with this hip flexor, making sure that it's releasing back. One more time, release the hip flexor, fold your fan, roll up to the toes, and back down. Very good, shake it out. So now we're gonna begin to work the stabilizer muscles of our legs. Ankles, feet, and then we're gonna get into the piriformis back here in the hips. So right now, we're gonna bring our legs together. Everybody has a little bit different shape of their legs, so if they don't come all the way together, that is fine, but we're working the energy into the center line. We're gonna think about this down and up action and the folding of our fan. So here's what it's gonna look like. We're gonna raise the heels up off the ground and let the hip flexor relax back. And then we come down. Let's do it together. We're gonna transfer the weight forward to the forward half of the foot, release hip flexors, grow up and down, and lift heels. Now, this is not about how high we can go, it's about how stable we are. We're gonna spread those toes open again, transfer weight forward, lift up to the belly, as if you have a string pulling you here, and then we release the leg, the hip, knee, and ankle joints, and we come back down. You can play with how high you can lift the heels for fun, but when we do that, we want to watch and make sure the toes are staying spread and long rather than clenching up. If you start to lose your balance and you feel your toes clench, just come back down, relax, spread the toes again. So here we go, one more time. Transfer weight forward, pull up the belly, lengthen the spine, feel your roots growing to the ground, and we flex hip, knee, and ankle joints, roll up, and maybe we think, can we hold? We squeeze in, ankles, thighs, and knees together, and then we gently, with control, come down. Nice, shake it out. All right, so if that is feeling difficult for you, you might try another couple reps with that, and then let it go for the day. If you're ready to move on, we're going to try one-footed. So here we are, we're gonna take that hip, release it out as we take our leg to the side. We find that line right down the shin bone to the toes and the first toe and the second toe. Stretching down and up. Core pulls up and in. Transfer weight to the forward half of the foot, and we release the ankle up off the ground, the heel, and back down. And again, it's not about how high you go. It's just about finding the balance, spreading the toes, and come down. We release, and back down. I have a little bit of weight in this foot. It's just helping me stabilize as I work the stabilizer muscles on the other side. Good, one more time. Release that hip joint, let the heel come off the ground, find the alignment, and come back down. Good, let's shake it out. Other side. We find our standing leg. Transfer weight to the forward half of the foot. Free hip is relaxing down. And then feel that in our alignment. Feel the same squeeze we had before going inward, but now it's just with one leg. We align, belly in, and we release that heel off the ground. Again, if you need to be holding on to something, it's totally cool. If the toes clench, we just come back down and we start again. Feeling the strength and alignment of the ankle. Good, we're gonna go 2 more times. Take a deep breath, reset yourself, release, and back, and release. Toes spread wide, and down. Nice, let's shake it out. So if you're starting to feel wobbly, that means your stabilizer muscles are working. That's a good thing. But we don't want to push them to the point of exhaustion. We want to have good practice that feels balanced and grounded, and it eventually feels like we're moving with ease. Toes are spreading wide. Awesome, let's shake it out. So now we're going to move on to the piriformis. This is a great exercise for building the stabilizer muscle that goes across the hip right here. As an option, you can also do this with a weight, which I'll explain. So if you're feeling like you want a weight, go ahead and grab it. We're going to find our standing leg. Stretch up and down. And now we have a free leg. We're gonna send it back and we're gonna pike forward. And if you had a weight, you could reach down and grab it and come back up. Good, now we're gonna reach down with the other hand. We reach down and back up. We stabilize, and we come back down. Now, you notice my standing leg knee is bent. This is not about flexibility. This is about stability. So bend that standing leg knee as much as you need to. If you want to straighten it and work with a straight leg, that's cool too. We reach down and up. Reset, other side, down, and up. Good. We're gonna go each side 2 more times. Find your standing leg, reset. Again, if you needed to grab a chair or something, you could totally do that. So we can have our hand here. Let's find a steady gaze forward. Find your spot on the ground. We reach down and back up. I often like to have my hand on my hip or on my belly, right below my belly button. That kind of keeps my core engaged, which helps me make me more stable. Good. All right, we're almost there, y'all. We got one more side to do. Here we go. Ground down and up. Find your gaze, find your core. Pull it up and in. Stabilize. If your legs are shaky, that means we're working. And up. Find your steady gaze, moving with control, and back up. Yes. All right, so a different version of this exercise is what I often do while I'm brushing my teeth. Because if we brush our teeth on one foot, we could be practicing our heel lifts. We can also be practicing this last motion that we did. As we go to spit in the sink, we can come forward and back up. Let's try that again. So we go on both legs, we brush our teeth, and we go, whoo, spit, and back up. And this is like in a miniature version that I practice, that gives you practice without having to take extra time to do it. So have fun with it. If you're feeling a little shaky, that means did good work. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed the video, leave your comments below, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks so much. Have a great day.